Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. Happy Thursday, everybody. Hope your day and your week have been going very well so far. Got a new day, which of course means a new MLB Player Prop video to share with you guys. But first, as always, people, please make sure to go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, and drop a comment down below. It helps the channel grow, and it really does mean a ton to us. With a new day comes some new opportunities to go ahead and make some money. I have 5 MLB player props to go ahead and share with you guys in today's MLB slate. But first, guys, before we dive into today's picks, a quick little recap of how we did last night. And yeah, guys, it was a meh night. We did hit one bet. TJ Friedel over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs did cash for us. However, Wilyer Abreu did not. Had a really rough night batting last night, actually. So 1-1. Now, Ryan Mountcastle, it gets voided because he didn't start. However, it's frustrating because he did come in the 7th inning as a pinch hitter and actually had 2 at-bats in the game. He went 1 for 1. He got hit by a pitch the first at-bat. Second at-bat, he singled. He technically did cash this line, but per BetMGM's rules, the player has to start and get at least 1 plate appearance for the bet to be valid because he came in relief. And yes, he had 2 plate appearances. The bet does not cash. Every sportsbook has different rules. I believe FanDuel, as long as a player has a plate appearance, your bet's still active. But BetMGM, DraftKings, I think they both have the same rule. The player has to basically start as well as have at least 1 plate appearance for your bet to be valid. So it is a voided pick. So we did go 1-1 last night. We're now 28-30 on the year. Again, we've barely lost, I think, 0.09 units, so nothing too crazy. We got more player props today, more opportunities to go ahead and make money. So let's go ahead and dive right into today's picks. Jumping right into the outlier screen, guys, our first player prop in today's slate comes from the Mariners-Red Sox game, 1:35 p.m. first pitch. We're going Garrett Crochet of the Boston Red Sox under 4.5 hits allowed, -135 over on DraftKings. It is available on multiple sports books for varying odds. Crochet has started 5 games this year for Boston. He's cashed this under in 3 out of 5 games, that being a 60% hit rate. Not 6 out of 5, because that math makes no sense, literally impossible. 3 of 5 starts this year, he's cashed the under, a 60% hit rate, averaging 3.8 hits allowed per game. Even the 2 games where he did cash the over, he just barely did it. 5 hits versus Toronto, 5 hits versus Texas. So a pretty strong start to his Red Sox tenure. And look at the head-to-head numbers dating back to last year as a member of the Chicago White Sox. 1 game he cashed the under with 2 hits allowed back on June 13th, but their most recent matchup on July 28th, he gave up 6 hits in what was still a pretty bad loss for Chicago. A lot of that happened last year, let's be honest. We look down below at the insights provided by Outlier. By the way, shout to Outlier, the sponsor of today's video. We do offer a link down below in the description, 7-day free trial to check it out for yourself. All the information you're seeing here on the screen is brought to you by Outlier, and I'm only giving you guys the tip of the iceberg. So there's so much more information, so many more tools and helpful things that this app provides, this website provides. So go ahead and check it out. Again, link down below, 7-day free trial. When you use that link, shout to Outlier for sponsoring all of our player prop videos here on the channel. But the insight provided by Outlier, Garrett Crochet has failed to exceed 4.5 hits and allowed in 10 of his last 13 games. This, of course, dates back to last year. So pretty good cover rate on the under here for Garrett Crochet. And look at the numbers this year. Seattle batting versus left-handed pitchers. They are bottom 10 Major League Baseball, 214 batting average, very high strikeout rate. I want to take Crochet's strikeout line, but it's set at 7.5, which is a little high. But across the board, all really good numbers. And so far this year, Garrett Crochet, 92nd percentile, just 168 batting average allowed. He's having a fantastic debut to his Red Sox tenure. So really solid numbers here for Crochet. I think for -135 odds, pretty strong value. For our second player prop in today's slate, we're moving on to the Rockies-Royals game, 2:10 p.m. first pitch. We're going Brenton Doyle of the Colorado Rockies over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. It is a plus money play, +105 right now over on DraftKings. And for a plus money play, pretty strong value here. 6 of his last 10 games, he's cashed the over, averaging 3.3 hits, runs, RBIs per game over his last 10. Now that number is a little misleading because he's had 2 really massive games there. One against, not Oakland, almost at Oakland, the Athletics, and the other one against Milwaukee. A couple other games where he cashed it, but just, not massive performances. So far the year, he's played 13 games. He's cashed the over in 7 of 13 games. That is, of course, a 54% hit rate, again, averaging 2.77 hits, runs, RBIs per game this season. From a head-to-head perspective, 2 of his last 3 matchups with the Kansas City Royals, of course, all 3 dating back to last year, he cashed the over, averaging 3 hits, runs, RBIs per game across those last 3 matchups with Kansas City. Looking down below at the key matchup stats, you have Doyle versus Cole Riggins. 3 plate appearances. It's a small sample size, yes, but he's had success within that small sample size. 2 of those 3 plate appearances, he's recorded a hit. So 667 average, 667 OBP. And looking down below at the key matchup stats, it's really solid. He's batting .315 this year with a 131.6 WRC plus. Versus left-handed pitchers, you do see a significant increase to 455 batting average, 173.8 WRC plus. Now take it with a grain of salt because it's only 13 plate appearances against left-handed pitchers so far this year, but those numbers are massive. And so far in the small sample size we have, he has raked off of left-handed pitchers. And looking at Cole Reagans right now, 233 batting average allowed, 0.7 home runs per 9, 287 WOBA. Versus right-handed batters, you do see an increase in all of the numbers minus ERA, which you do see a little bit of a decrease there. Batting average allowed increases, home runs per 9 increase, OBA increases. So pretty solid matchup across the board really on this plus money player prop. All right, guys, our third player prop in today's slate. We're moving on to the Pirates-Angels game, 9:29 p.m. first pitch. Weird times with these baseball starts. Ke'Bryan Hayes of the Pittsburgh Pirates under 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs, minus 105 odds over on DraftKings. Again, it's available on multiple sports books for varying odds. Data is solid on this one as well. 7 of his last 10 games, he's cashed the over, averaging 1.3 hits, runs, RBIs per game over his last 10 games. So far this year in the 2025 season, a 55% hit rate on this under. 12 out of 22 games, he's cashed the under, averaging 1.64 hits, runs, RBIs per game this season. And from a head-to-head perspective, 3 of his last 4 matchups with the Angels, he's cashed the under, averaging just 1 hit, run, RBI per game across those last 4 matchups with Los Angeles. Now, they played 2 times so far this year in this series. He's cashed at one of the 2, April 22nd. He had 1 hit, 1 RBI. Yesterday, he had 1 hit, no RBIs, no runs. Looking down below, the insights provided by Outlier, Ke'Bryan Hayes has failed to exceed 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs in 4 of his last 5 games on the road, averaging 0.8 hits, runs, RBIs per game over his last 5 road games. You have Ke'Bryan Hayes versus Tyler Anderson here. 3 plate appearances since 2018, nothing. No hits, no runs, no home runs, I should say. No RBIs. He does have a 333 OBP, so he's gotten on base against Tyler Anderson, but no hits against him in 3 plate appearances. And looking down below, a really rough start to the year for Ke'Bryan Hayes. 214 batting average overall, 60.5 WRC plus versus left-handed pitchers, which again, a little on the smaller size in terms of sample size, smaller side, in terms of sample size. 21 plate appearances versus left-handed pitchers this year. He's batting just 100 against lefties with a negative 33.1 WRC plus. So really struggling in general this year, but versus left-handed pitchers in particular, especially struggling. Look at Tyler Anderson across the board having a really great year. 208 ERA, 149 batting average allowed, 259 WOBA. However, versus right-handed batters, it gets even worse. 104 ERA, .074 batting average allowed, and 163 WOBA. I say worse. Worse for Ke'Bryan Hayes. Better for Tyler Anderson, who's having a fantastic year with the Angels, which of course means he'll probably be traded by the deadline because, you know, the Angels are kind of becoming like the Athletics where it's like they're just a farm system for other teams to take talent from. Tyler Anderson having a great year. Ke'Bryan Hayes not so much. I think that equals a matchup where I think a under for Ke'Bryan Hayes is a good bet here for minus 105 odds too. Really strong value. By the way, guys, we just passed the 8-minute mark in today's video. So if you are still watching, thank you. We appreciate those who watch through each and every single video. If you are watching, comment 8 down below. Again, we just passed the 8-minute mark in today's video, so comment 8 down below if you're still watching with us here today. Appreciate you guys who are watching all the way through. Again, I welcome everybody with open arms, even if you're just here to take the picks from the pinned comment. But I obviously appreciate those a little bit extra who actually watch through the whole thing because we put a lot of hard work into each and every video. All right, guys, our 4th player prop in today's slate, moving on to the Rays-Diamondbacks game, 9:40 p.m. first pitch. We got Gabriel Moreno of the Arizona Diamondbacks under 1.5 hit run RBIs, minus 145 over on DraftKings. A little high in the odds standpoint, but not too bad. 7 of his last 10 games, he's cashed the under, averaging 1 hit run RBI per game over his last 10 games. So far this season, 61% hit rate on the under. Pretty good numbers. 11 out of 18 games, he's cashed the under, averaging 1.28 hits, runs, RBIs per game this season. So across the board, really solid data here from a head-to-head perspective as well. Small sample size. Literally, you have just the 2 games they played this year to go off of. But in those 2 games, he's cashed the under in both games of this series versus Tampa Bay so far. So pretty good numbers in that regard. Small sample size, of course. But Gabriel Moreno has failed to exceed 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs in 6 straight games at home, averaging just 0.5 hits, runs, RBIs per game over his last 6 home games. So that's obviously really good for us. Now looking down below here, the batting numbers, Gabriel Moreno, 214 batting average overall, 61.2 WRC plus. Yes, versus right-handed pitchers, there is a little increase there, right? 227 batting average, 67.4 WRC plus. Those numbers are definitely better than his overall numbers. That being said, let's make it very abundantly clear. 227 batting average is still not that good. We'll just be honest, and sorry to Gabriel Moreno, but 227, you're not really having the best of seasons. So yes, it is a better number from his overall mark. I'm still not overly concerned with it though, because I still think across the board it's a pretty good matchup for Gabriel Moreno. And look at the pitching matchup versus Drew Rasmussen. Sounds like a vampire name. Drew Rasmussen, 0.87 ERA, 169 batting average allowed. Really solid year across the board. Versus right-handed batters, slight increases in ERA and WOBA, but his batting average allowed actually slightly decreases. So whatever way you want to spin it, he's having a really good start to the year. Seems like a pretty good matchup across the board here. All right, guys, and our 5th and final player prop in today's slate comes from the Rangers Athletics game. 10:05 p.m. first pitch. We got Tyler Soderstrom of the Athletics over half a total base. So basically, all he needs to do is hit a single. A hit of any kind will cash his over, but he needs to get a hit. I'm actually going to go ahead and change the bet to over half a hit because it's minus 145 on DraftKings for over half a hit, minus 150 on DraftKings for over half a total base. So a little extra value there on minus 145. So Tyler, it's the same bet, guys. Half a total base, half a hit. It's the exact same thing. So Tyler Soderstrom over half a hit, minus 145 over on DraftKings, is available on multiple sports books for varying odds. 6 of his last 10 games, he's cashed the over, averaging 0.9 hits per game over his last 10 games. So far this year, a 67% hit rate on the over, 16 out of 24 games. He's cashed the over, averaging 1.08 hits per game this year. And obviously, he had that really strong start. It's not as consistently good as it was in the first 10 games, but still pretty solid overall. And from a head-to-head perspective, 4 of his last 6 matchups with the Texas Rangers dating back to last year, he's cashed the over, averaging 1 hit per game over his last 6 games. They played so far 2 times this year, obviously both in this current series against the Rangers. The first game, no hit. Last night, he got a hit. So 50% so far this year for Tyler Soderstrom against the Rangers. And looking down below at the matchup stats, Tyler Soderstrom, 283 batting average, numbers across the board, pretty solid. Versus right-handed pitchers, the numbers actually increase in literally every category present. Batting average goes from 283 to 304. BABIP from 279 to 283. Hard hitting percentage, WRC plus, all of them increase. Some of them smaller than others, but all of them increase when he's facing off with right-handed pitchers. And looking at Jacob deGrom so far this year, good numbers. 203 batting average allowed, 332 ERA, 204 BABIP. However, versus left-handed batters, and there's a decent amount of sample size, 50 batters faced, 250 batting average allowed, 556 ERA, a whopping 876 FIP. The only thing you do see a decrease is his BABIP, but minor decrease from 204 to 200. So you definitely see a difference. Jacob deGrom, when throwing against left-handed batters, struggles quite a bit more. So I do actually think this is a pretty good matchup here for Tyler Soderstrom. And looking down below at the pitch arsenal, Jacob deGrom obviously heavily relies on the fastball. Almost 48% of his pitches are fastballs. Look at Tyler Soderstrom this year. 531 WOBA when going up against the fastball. So obviously really good. The slider, 431 WOBA, still really good. So his 2 most utilized pitches, Tyler Soderstrom has a lot of success against. So I think across the board, you got a really good matchup here. Yeah, minus 145, not the best from an odds standpoint, but still has a ton of value here. All right, guys, those are all 5 player props in today's MLB slate. As always, guys, thank you very much for watching one more time. Please make sure to go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, and drop a comment down below. I'll be back tomorrow with another MLB player prop video. But until then, guys, I hope you're all winners. Enjoy your Thursday. And, of course, as always, let's go ahead and make some